right here. He's not thinking about what I'm going to attack next. Okay, so you got the throat, the nose, the eyes, the groin, all right? You can also attack joints. As far as joint attacking, takes more skill, or it takes more of a precise shot. So first go for the gross motor skills targets that will inflict damage, which is right in the center here and right in the groin, and play with it. Go upstairs, go downstairs. That's why we start with the elbows and we end up with the clinch and the knees, because I'm confusing him, short-circuiting his thought and taking away his confidence from the inside. The next thing I want to talk about is ranges. Okay, it is important that you adjust your weapons according to the range. If you're using a weapon that's not appropriate to a range, I usually refer it as the mechanic go fix a house with mechanics tools and it's not going to work. Carpenter has his tools, mechanic has his tools. Same thing applies to ranges. If I'm in long range, I'm going to have to apply long range techniques. I'm not going to jump into it or lunge myself to try to apply a short technique. Systematically, we can break the ranges into 3 ranges. Okay, long range, middle range, and close range. Okay, in the long range, you'll use your kicks and long punches. Okay, why I don't categorize range by kicking, punching, elbows and knees, and clinch is because then people will refer to it what tools I'm going by to attack with. You have to have a transition technique from range to range. In other words, long range, I'm starting off with my kicks or maybe extension weapons. In other words, maybe I have a knife and that gives me an extension, or projectiles, in other words, a gun. But when I close that long range to middle range, my long punches are my transition technique. I don't go, I'm kicking, let me get closer, now I'm punching. I'm going to overlap. It's important, just like the overlap principle, that you have a transition technique from range to range. So in the long range, I got the kick and the punch. Then I'm getting closer, obviously. Then I continue with my punches, and I'm transiting to elbows and knees. And then finally, you have the close range, is when you can grab or you can clinch 2 hands and bring him in. The close range includes stand-up and ground because your body is already on top of his body. Now, as a rule, we in Israel refer to the long range as the warm-up range. In other words, the closer you get, the more damage you can inflict. The bigger the range it is, unless it's a gun, the less damage is going to be, or the more skill you're going to have to be able to inflict damage. In other words, if I'm in long range, I got to be an exceptional kicker to be able to inflict damage. That's going to take a long time for me to develop those skills. Now, if you have the time, more power to you, go ahead and develop those skills. But what I'm saying is, the more effective weapons and the more damage you can do is in the close range. And that's why our point of reference in the Agana system are close range. That's why I always want to get to one of those point of reference so I can inflict as much damage as possible. And again, when I'm up close, I'm not going to try to kick. I'm going to be jammed. I'm going to use my inside weapons, my elbows, my headbutt, my knees, my eye gouge. So I'm adjusting my weapons to long range, middle range, close range, with transition weapons in between. Okay, time to put all the weapons together into what I call an engagement drill. I'm going to engage and keep going to work. In the Agana system, we refer to going to work when the engagement was established. As soon as the engagement is established by either your opponent or yourself, you need to go to work. When you go to work, that basically you're overlapping your technique in a segment that you're closing the gap to reach a point of reference. All right, Chris is standing in a fighting stand, I'm standing in a fighting stance. We're going to start off with our longest weapon, which is one of those 3 kicks on either lead. I'm closing the gap with a kick. From here, I'm going to come in with a straight punch to the face. Ear smash, headbutt. After the headbutt, I eye gouge him back, exposing the neck. From here, elbow to the neck, and bring him into a clinch. Now, when I bring him into a clinch, it is important that his forehead is in my shoulder socket. If I keep him free, he can headbutt me, or he can free himself from underneath. He can slip underneath and open himself up. You always want, when you clinch, to control the forehead right here. That will also prevent him from biting me. He can't bite me right now. From here, when I clinch, I'm going to jilt down a little bit. Why am I jilting down? So he cannot knee me. From here, it's always going to be 3 knees. 1, 2, 3. Okay, when I knee low line. It doesn't matter where you shoot. One of them will connect to the groin, and probably the others will connect in the legs. Do not aim, I'm going to knee him right there. It's 3 knees, low line, wherever it connects, it connects. Again, you start off. Kick, punch, ear smash, headbutt, eye gouge, elbow. Bring him into a clinch. 1, 2, 3. All right. From here, I can go to work. Okay, in other words, from here, I will have a point of reference that brings me into objective option. Okay, the drill that you just saw is just a drill. It's important that you understand that this is not how we fight. The drill is there designed so you have landmarks to use all your weapons. It is important that when you attack somebody, you keep short-circuiting him. That will be done by using different weapons. If you always use punch after punch, he's going to get used to it and he's going to get into more than defending those. In other words, you're going to use the drill to use all your weapons. Also, the drill obviously starts off from long range to close range. In real attack scenarios, it's not going to happen that way. In other words, you're not going to have the choice or the luxury of saying, okay, let's start from here and I'll use my entry technique. Sometimes the engagement is going to bring you in the middle to begin with, or even at close range to begin with. So what we're trying to do is accustom you and neuromuscular program you that wherever you're going to be in relationship to this drill in a combative situation, that you start to use the appropriate weapons to short-circuit your opponent. In the Agana system, you have 3 points of reference. One being the clinch in the middle. This is the best point of reference because you control his head. As soon as you control his head, you control the man. In other words, anytime you're in the middle and you ended up in a clinch, you control the man. The second point of reference is an outside clinch. In other words, I'm on the outside. I'm going to do so by grabbing the back of his shirt as much material as possible and pull my forearm across. In other words, I'm grabbing the shirt as much as possible so I have a handle. Bring that forearm across. That forearm being across is going right across his face. This will prevent from him to do anything with that hand. If he goes to punch me right now and I control the face here, is he going to hit me? Yes, but it's not going to be effective. If I don't have that and he hits me either to the body or either to the face, it's going to hurt and it's going to be effective. By me coming this way, hit me in the face, he can't reach me, he can't reach me, he can't damage me. Then I'm going to have to take care of this hand. This hand is important that I neutralize so he does not deploy a weapon or he doesn't start going to work with it. In other words, if the hand is hanging down, I'm going to pin it to his body. When I pin it, I'm going to the plea of the elbow and I'm putting my thumb inside and pinning it to his body. I don't go by the wrist. If I go by the wrist, all he's got to do is yank out and he's out and he deploys his weapon. If I'm here, he can't deploy his weapon because his hand is far away from any weapon deployment he's got and it's pinned. All right, the same thing reverses itself on the other side. All right, those are 3 points of references. Now, as soon as I got one of those 3 points of references, I can go to work by objective. Okay, I'll explain. I started here. 1, 2, 3, headbutt, eye gouge, elbow, bring him in. A 1, a 2, a 3. The first option I have is to take a takedown and basically control him. This applies most for law enforcement. In other words, they got to take the man down, handcuff him, this and that, and control him. From here, all I got to do is this, and the man is down. And then from here, you'll go into a control position. All right, so that's your first option. Second option will be to incapacitate him. We like to incapacitate from here into what we call a break ankle. Okay, break ankle will go, I'm going to step on his leading foot. If he's got that foot up front, I'm going to step here. If he's got that foot up front, switch lead please, Chris, I'm going to step here. I always fish for the foot that's up front. All I'm doing is here. From here, I'm going to violently push him backward. And what this will do, just go with it.
In reality, what will happen is, at the end of the fall, he will not have any more room, and the ankle will completely destruct itself and pop out. Now, what you just did is, you broke his ankle, and he cannot step on it, therefore he cannot attack you again, okay? That is called an incapacitation. Again, out of the clinch, I'm here. I get the first one, what I'll do is I'll push violently backward. As he falls down, pop, the ankle pops. In reality, in training, make sure you let go so you don't break the ankle of your training partner. Again. Okay, it all starts off right here. Kick, punch, ear smash, headbutt, eye gouge, elbow. I bring it in. 1, 2, 3, step, and break his ankle. All right, that is incapacitation. Now it brings you to termination. Now I'm going to explain something. Like I said in the beginning of the series, this is for worst case scenario. Sometimes you're going to have to do whatever you got to do. That's what we call in Israel, avodah. You got to go to work, okay? To terminate him, I will have to do it by the head. Okay, watch here. I got the man in a clinch. I went with 3 knees. Every step I did short-circuited him. In other words, I got his attention here, I popped him here, I messed up his equivalent, I came with the headbutt, I eye gouged him, and I shot him in the nerve here, and I'm coming here with 3 knees. By now, he's all loosened up, okay? From here, watch what I'm gonna do. If I wanna terminate him, I'm gonna go down right here to his chin. I'm gonna go down to his chin right here. As soon as I got that, I'm gonna turn him. As soon as I got him turned, I can wrench him up. That will be considered terminate him. Again, I'm here, I'm going down the chin. Do not do this, because now he can bite you. Lead yourself to the end of the chin. As you do so, all I gotta do is wrench it this way, and he'll turn. Right now, you have him. When I wrench him, I don't reverse the same motion. I go upward, schlag, right here. And what will happen is his skull will get disconnected from his spine, and that's how you kill a man. Okay, so again, 3 options. You got take him down, control him. Most of the time that's considered law enforcement. You got incapacitate him. In other words, break an ankle. You break somebody's ankle, they can't stand. They can't stand, they can't fight. And finally, you got termination. Termination will be worst case scenario, you turn him and this and that. We're gonna freestyle into the drill. Ready, stand? Break the ankle. Stand up.
All right, as far as knees is concerned in the clinch, it is very important that you don't give him any freedom. If you have him on the outside here, you want to make sure that everything is tight. If you just reach out this way and hold his shoulder, number 1, he can use his weapons and hit me. Number 2, he can slip underneath and come on the outside, no good. Every time you clinch him, either on the outside or inside, you must control him as much as possible. Make sure that forearm is across. Make sure this is pinned and you have control of it. So you can yank. If you're just holding here and while you move, you can yank him, you ain't got nothing. If I have it here and I yank him and I control him, therefore, if I feel a jerk from his body, I can control what's coming in. If I have it here and I'm starting kneeing here, he can headbutt me, and defensively wise, I did not neutralize him. On the clinch, when you bring him in the clinch, usually a clinch will happen after you elbowed him. It is important that that forehead is nice tucked in into your collarbone. While you do so, you shudder it into you. Don't be shy about it, okay? You're trying to take over. As soon as I got him here, I want my hands tied in. Don't have your elbows out like a chicken. He can slip underneath, and come out, or he can simply raise my elbow with his hand and get free. When I'm inside here, it will give me more control. From here, same thing happens. I'm supposed to be able to jilt him. If I cannot jilt him, I cannot control him. As soon as I got this, also I want to push down. If I push down, try to knee me, Chris. He can't knee me. I'm neutralizing that he can knee me. So essentially, I took away his weapons while I can use my weapons. And then brings us to what we call the load up. when you knee, you always will need 3 times. We need 3 times because it's a landmark. As soon as I got him, I'm going to hit him 3 times low. Try to avoid kneeing 3 times the same knee, because a human being, after he gets shot 1 time for an angle, he's going to start protecting that angle. Therefore, your second and third knee is going to be ineffective, because just out of blocking or out of defensive-wise, he's going to start getting used to it. I'm going to do a load up. A load up means after I knee 1 time, I'm going to put my foot right where it landed, and I'm going to load up the other one, just like a shotgun. Knee, land, load up. So every time I knee from the rear, and it's nice and load up.
Point of references can also be acquired from a defensive point of view. Earlier, I attacked. I'm the one who kicked. I'm the one who engaged. Sometimes you're not going to have that option, or he's going to already launch his attack, and you're going to have to react to it. If Chris throws a punch, I'll come here, and now I got this point of reference. Again, he comes in, I come here, and now I got the point of reference on the outside versus the inside. Now watch what I'm doing. I am grabbing as much as possible out of his shirt. This will be done by simply hit him and grab the shirt. From here, I'm here. From here, it's the same thing. I still have those 3 options. I can start kneeing 1, 2, 3, and take a takedown. From here, apprehend him. Or, punch, right? He came in 1, 2, I go to work 1, 2, 3, and I can break his ankle. From here, break his ankle. Or finally, you always have the option, come in, 1, take him 1, 2, 3, coming in and schlag him out and terminate him. In other words, I always find myself either here, here, or here, out of him engaging me or me engaging him. As soon as I get to that point of reference, I have 3 options to go to work from. And that's what I mean, that we become instinctive in our fighting versus I got to read what's coming in. I will always bring you to one of those 3 points of reference, and therefore you will have the option to choose your objective. Gaining control of the head will basically make you gain control of the human being. As soon as you control his head, you can control the direction where he's going. Therefore, you can go into any objective you want to take, including the termination. All right, of course, the best way to control somebody's head is the clinch. Again, I'll fish for it by entry technique, coming in, start working him up into the head. As soon as I gain the head, it is important that you understand the values of having a good control on the clinch. Every time you gain the head, try to go right here. Don't go here. Right here, and tilt it down. When you tilt the man down, his reaction will be he wants to fight back up, which is great for you because it's going to give you energy to work into controlling him. So always go right here. When you cup your hand, don't finger. If you finger and he starts yanking, you might jam a finger, and you way of thought not go, I got a jam finger. Basically, he short circuit you. Always cup it. Always cup it like this. So I'm cupped right here. My elbows are tied in. So I have a control on his collarbone. A lot of times when I fish for controlling the head, I will actually hit him in the collarbone to gain in. When I hit him, he's thinking ouch here, and then I already have gained the control. From here, I keep it tight. I keep it tight so he cannot come with uppercuts from the inside. If he comes to the uppercut to the chin from the inside, he's going to short circuit me. I keep it tight, and of course I bring this right here. It is important, and I keep reiterating that, but it's very important that that forehead is shoved into your shoulder so he cannot headbutt you, and more importantly, he cannot bite you. If he bites you and take a chunk out of your bicep, that fight is over. So make sure you have that right there. As soon as you got that, anywhere you go, he goes. You can rank him over here, yank him over there. Every time you want to move him around, try to use 3 things. Try to use this hand as a turning, this hand as a pushing, and involve your footwork so you don't struggle too much. You want to work as less as possible with getting as much results as possible. As soon as you got him turned and you control him, and of course you are shooting those knees, what happens is he's got to struggle here, but he's getting short circuit downstairs. So he's got two zones that he's got to deal with at the same time, and that's what's breaking his confidence. He's getting more of a victimized person. He's thinking defensive. He's not thinking attack anymore. As soon as you got this, you can turn him or you can terminate him. Now watch here. If your termination has to be done fast, you can do it from the front. It is always better to turn your opponent. All right? When I turn him, what happens? Right now, I'm behind him. And as soon as I'm behind him, he becomes a complete victim. In other words, he doesn't know what I'm going to do. I can deploy a weapon right now. I can knee him in the spine. I can take him down by pushing, shoving him down. So right now, he is completely clueless of what's going to happen. As far as the termination, every time you range, do not range where he can turn his head. In other words, we turn our heads like this all the time. You want to where he can turn his head. So when I range him in an angle up. And it is done in a what I call a schlag. It's done in one violent motion. Don't start pulling. Some people have strong necks and you start pulling and they start like fighting it. It's going to be, you're going to direct him here, and what happens is when you direct him here, he's going to want to turn his face here, and you say, oh, you want to go there? Schlag. Let's go over there. That's fine with me. All right? So always push first to one direction. He'll resist, and that resistance will help you out. Same thing happens if I have him on a clinch right here. If I have him on a clinch right here, I slide down. Don't go, he's going to bite you. Same thing, I'm going to push that way. When I push and shove that way, he's going to try to resist it. Fine, you want to go there, we'll schlag you over there. So every time you push, human being resistance will be down their way and right here. And of course, in the process, I'm still so short-circuiting him, so everything is nice and easy.
Technique number one will be from the outside point of reference. Now, again, sometimes it will come out of a punch, or sometimes you'll have the hands hanging. I'm working right now, I'm here. Now, given the fact that you got there already, in other words, you at point of reference outside on this side, make sure that you have as much material of the shirt as possible. If he's not wearing a shirt, just grab the skin and dig your fingers in there, that's fine. All right, from here, I'm gonna make sure that that hand is across. Without that, I don't have a point of reference. This hand is pinned. Now first takedown, watch here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to come across and rip. As I rip, I'm going to use my forearm as a yank, and I'm going down. All right, again. Now, systematically, after every takedown you take, I want your knee to be driven into your opponent's body. That's to short-circuit him. In other words, when I put my knee here, he thinks pain here. This will always expose this. All you got to do is a good shot here and you stun him. Some people will black out completely, but this will automatically open and you're going right here. Again, you hear the point of reference right here. All you do is go across, yank down, knee, and you have this. Now, according to your objective, you will go to work from here. All right? That's the outside point of reference. Now I got inside point of reference. In other words, I clinched him. Again, I already went to work. I already broke him down. From here, depending on which leg is up front, which leg, please? Okay, the leg that's up front is the one you're going to rip. If he has that leg up front, switch lead, please, you're going to rip on this side. Okay, all you do is, switch lead, all you do is you're going to plant your foot on the floor. Right behind his thigh. Don't go here. Right behind the thigh. You already have the clinch, and all you got to do is right here. All right, from here you have options from the takedown wherever you want to go with your objectives. So again, I'm on the inside clinch. I already went to work. I already threw my knees. All I do is I plant my foot, down I go. Knee here, and from here I have my options. All right, you got a point of reference on the outside. When that foot is here, I want this foot